Share my screen. Ay, sorry. Di na. Akala ko grades nito. Hindi. This is may AB Mech, no? Yan. All right. So our last topic, no, is all about budgetary planning, or what you call about master budget, no? In your session 4 or module 4 is basically more on the budget. By the way, isa lang yung ano natin, no? Hindi natin na-discuss. So maybe I will just give you na lang this. That's your activity-based costing. All right. By the way, no, but before that, no, I would like to congratulate pala. So I will not share my screen na. Uh, your midterm, no, the highest is Ke. Ito ba si Ke? Wala. Okay. Ano sila? Ilan ba sila? The highest is 67, ha? Out of, ilan ba to? 80 items ba tayo?
70 po.
70 items. Alright, 70 items. Ito, ha? Insert. Saan yung free Spain? Alright, the highest is Ke. Apat sila, no? Ke, Justin Chan, De La Paz, and Lopez. Dito ba kayo? Parang wala. Wala sila, no? Yung apat.
They're not here po, sir.
At here. Alright, 67. Then followed by Shannon. Shannon here? No. Alright, 66. Then Angeles and then Malanta. Oh. Yung pa yung wala dito, no? Saan ba? Yan. And also Diwa and nandito lang si Margaret lang. Alright.
Sir, nandito ako.
Sino? Ay, sorry.
Shannon po, sir, is here.
Shannon. Alright, sorry. Kasi yung picture mo. Okay, very good. Shannon. Shannon lang pala. Alright, Shannon is 66. Very good. Okay. Alright. Unfortunately, no, parang yung nangyari sa inyo, yung graph nyo, no, masyadong mataas, masyadong mababa, no? Parang ganun yung nangyari. What happened, no? Alright. So, parang ganun yung nangyari. Anyway, don't worry. Alright, sige. So, bawi na lang yung iba sa midterm, sa final exam. Final exam is I will focus on ito, malamang master budget. Then, we have only one topic lang na hindi na-discuss, no? Activity-based costing. So, very easy lang naman yun. I will just give you na lang the PowerPoint of this, no? Kasi for the purpose of time. Alright. Yun lang naman. The rest, we discuss naman lahat, no? And then, on April 9 will be your submission, no? Just send me, or I will send i-link na lang, no, sa Canvas to send your paper, no? Dapat nga, ano pa yun dapat you have a presentation pa. Pero sabi ko, wag na because of the time, 'di ba? Kasi on April 10 will be your final paper, final exam na, no? Multiple choice lang din. Uh, all right, sige. So I will focus more on this, all right, in this master budget. All right. Ay, sorry, may kita niyo grades niyo. Ayan. Anyway, sige. This is budgetary planning. Okay, you see my screen? Yes?
Yes, sir.
All right, so focus more
Yes,
on
sir.
this. Okay. All right, so identify, again, indicate the benefits of the budgeting. Bakit kailangan ng budgeting in terms of your effective, uh, effective management. No? Identify the budgets in terms, or it comprised in terms of the master budget. No? Then describe the sources of preparing the budgeted income statement. And also explain the principal sections of the cash budget, and also applicability of the budgeting in non-manufacturing companies. All right. Ito lang yan, Yan, summary kanina. All right. What do you mean of budgeting? Okay. So budgeting is basically is used for planning tool, 'di ba? So proper planning, you have your budget, no? 'Di ba, Shannon, no? Even your own life, 'di ba? In your everyday life. Kaya lang unfortunately wala kayong baon ngayon, no? Wala kayong pera ngayon kasi work from home. Online class, tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yun yung disadvantage. Oh, tama, 'di ba, Shannon? Super bad. Disadvantage of the online class because you have no money. Tama ba? Pag ano, pag may klase, may pera kayo, ano. Wala lang. Baka until ano pa yan. Oh, pero 'di ba, nakita mo yung sa IATF, parang second semester daw, parang although hindi naman lahat, no, sa school ay na-allow na, no, parang konting school. Pero limited, 'di ba? Limited face to face lang. Alright. So meaning a budget is basically a formal written summary of management plan for a specified period of time. Of course, it is expressed in terms of financial terms, in terms of money. All right. It is normally represents the primary means of communicating the agreed upon objective, 'di ba? In Congress, no, may tinatawag sila na annual budget na ang tagal-tagal nilang ipasa, 'di ba? Alam niyo ba 'yan? That's budgeting. No? For sure, you will become a lawyer someday, no? Malamang yung iba sa inyo maging congressman, no? Oh, so yun, no? So as you notice, budgeting is very important because yes, it is a proper communication, the proper of monetary terms, no? In terms of your plan, 'di ba? Common sense, 'di ba, Saira, no? If you have no money, sa tingin niyo makakapag-operate ang company, 'di ba? Hindi, 'di ba? You know what, no? May company now, the Stripe Executive Asia and the Advanced Review Solutions, no? Yes, for now, we have no enrollees pa. So lahat ng gastos, yung pera ko muna, no? So eventually parang binabudget ko lahat. Sabi ko baka maubos yung pera, 'di ba, Sean? Ganun, no? So very important is the budgeting. Kasi as time goes by, if you have money, mas nakakagalaw ka, 'di ba? 'Di ba, Shannon, no? That's why it is very important that, no, the primary means of communicating, no, the agreed upon objectives. Ano ba yung objectives mo, 'di ba? Bakit ka nag-create ng company? Alright? Because of course, to earn money. Okay, tama ba, Margaret? That's your purpose, no? To earn a money. But of
Yes,
course,
sir.
'di ba? But of course for now, since startup business, so ako may own kasi yung company ko is only 4 months pa lang or 3 months pa lang. So lagi palabas yung pera. Okay? How do you find naman yung ano? Nakita niyo ba yung pinost ko na advanced review solutions? 'Di ba kakaiba siya, no?
Yes,
Na
sir.
sumusulat sa hangin, no? Yan. Share nyo, ha, para baka meron kayong kilala na mag-BS accountancy, no? So, ganun. So, ang laki ng investment doon, no? Pero hopefully, no, kagaya nyo na mag-enroll, hindi naman kayo BS accountancy, no? Yung mga friend nyo na BS accountancy should enroll, no? Yun. That's why it is very important that we have this budgeting. Wait lang. Wait lang. 5 minutes lang. Alright. Next. Indicate, no, the benefits of budgeting. Yun nga, you plan ahead, no? 'Di ba, Pau? What is the reason why you have your budgeting? Because you have an objective. At the same time, you plan ahead. All right. Number two is you provide definite objectives, no? So objectives in terms of evaluating your performance. How do you evaluate your performance? Ano ba yung objectives mo? To earn a profit, to have more sales, di ba? How you evaluate that? Of course, through feedback, through variance analysis, di ba? All right. And also, it create an early warning system. Tama ba, ni Risa, no? If you have an early warning system for potential problem, for example, your actual expense is 50,000, no? And then your budget is 60,000. Oh, favorable or unfavorable? Let's say you have an expenses of 50,000, pero yung budget mo ay 60,000. So meaning you have a 10,000 variance. Now my question here is it favorable or unfavorable?
Favorable, sir. Kasi
Favorable.
within the
Very good.
budget.
Yes, very good, Narisa. It is favorable because it is within the budget, meaning the budget is the standard, no? The budget is should be, sorry, parang threshold mo that you should not exceed, no, that budget, no, para at least it is favorable. But since it does not exceed the budget, no, so meaning it is favorable. All right. How about naman sales, no? What if your sales is actual sales is less than your budget? Is it favorable or unfavorable?
Unfavorable, sir.
Unfavorable. Very good. Because the budget in sales is called forecast, no? Sales forecast. So your forecast is more than your actual sales, no? Baka natutulog lang, no? Natutulog lang yung empleyado mo, no? Kasi uh, hindi wala pang benta. Okay. Okay. Medyo ano lang daw si Dean. Sabi nagme-message. Siya na kayo. All right. Next, number, and also you provide positive behavior patterns now throughout the organization. So very important is because of your budget now you provide positive behavior or patterns. All right. State the essential effective, no? All right. So effective budgeting depends on a sound organizational structure, no, in which the authority and responsibility over all phases of operations are clearly defined. So very important here is you have a sound org structure. What is the reason why? No, you should have an uh, you should have a sound org structure uh, in terms of the budgeting. Sige nga, Pau. Pau
Yeah, what's the
Balagot. No?
question again, sir? Sorry.
Again, what is the question is, bakit kailangan mo na you have a sound org structure in budgeting? Hello, Pau.
Sir, so that you can allocate it much more better so that every operations under different administrative positions are within budget po.
Alright, within budget at the same time. Sige, Saira muna. Sige, Saira.
Sir, I think budgeting also includes the production budget. So if we were
Yes, very
able
good.
to clearly state our goals, then all departments should be
Mm,
able to work together and know their own
yes,
goals
very
as
good.
well.
Yes, the word here is to work together. Sino yung the one who authorized for the budget is also very important. And also in terms of favorable and unfavorable variance, who are the responsible no for the budget? Kasi minsan no, pag lalo na pag unfavorable, if there's no sound or structure, magtuturuan ng kuturuan 'yon. Sabi niya, hindi si Kenshiso ang liable dito. Hindi si Margaret 'yon, no? Meaning there's no org structure, there's no budget committee, no? Yun pa, no? You should set your budget committee para at least sino ba talaga ang in charge? Sino ba ang overall in charge with this? Yan, information. Alright. That's why here, now budget is basically based on research and analysis, no? Should be realistic goals and contribute to the growth and profitability of the company. Okay? And also, effectiveness of this program is basically related to acceptance by all the level of the management. All right, so very important here is uh, the acceptance level no, by all the management. All right. Kasi nga, because of the acceptance level, no, alam natin kung sino yung the one who authorized for this. All right. The most common budget period is 1 year. Diba? Take note, no? In a master budget, ang ating binabudget ay for 1 year. As you notice, no? Lagi siyang, uh, what do you call that? Lagi siyang nasa short term, no? Or for 1 year. But the budget itself, no, may be prepared for a period or for any period of time. Sir, what is the reason why it should be the most common budget should be 1 year? Tingnan niya. Sino pa ba? Si Nerissa. Okay, tapos na para si Nerissa. Si Kenzie na lang, Kenzie So. What is the reason why you should have a budget for 1 year?
Po, um, just because to prepare for the year po, gano'n.
Alright, for a year. Pwede naman gawin natin ay for 5 years. Pwede naman for 10 years. Ba't kailangan pa ng 1 year?
Can I answer?
Alright, sige,
Uh,
Saira. Sige, sige, go.
sorry.
So, sir, because para the more recent the that you know, like the revenues are more.
Mm-mm.
Wait, sorry, sir. When the
Sure, sure.
revenue is more recent, when you see the more recent revenue, you
Alright.
know better what to expect for the
Mm-mm.
coming year po.
Yes, very good na. What to expect. At the same time, Margaret, no, there are times kasi na there is a new accounts, no? Let's say, para maging updated kayo lagi, no, every year. I think Saira, no? Sige, Saira. I think you're raising your hands.
Also because of
Mm.
the accounting period, sir, usually it's
Yes, very
over
good.
a year.
Very
So
good.
it needs to
Mm.
coincide with the budget.
Very good. Uh, it coincides with the accounting cycle, which is within the balance sheet date, no? January to December, 'di ba? There are times kasi na yes, ito yung budget mo. Tapos lumalagpas ka sa budget, no? Yung pala, because you are not updated, no? Let's say, ang budget mo for hotel accommodation is 2,000 per night, no? Yung pala, outdated ka, no? It is basically, the budget is, 5 years ago pa, no? Meaning, you are not updated in terms of, the hotel accommodation, no? Yung pala, hindi na 2,000 ang hotel accommodation. Di ba, ang mahal ng ano ngayon, no? 5,000 na dapat. No? 5,000 is the hotel accommodation. So, ganun. In terms of the meals, no? Let's say yung meals mo, dati 70 pesos, yun lang per pax, no? Ano mabibili mo sa 70 pesos, di ba? So meaning, because of the yearly budget, no, you can be able to identify, no, what would be the updated file or what would be the what you call that pwedeng mangyari is to retain or what would be the new budgeting accounts na we will be able to implement. Now, for example, we have a project, 'di ba? So, what if there's no budget for that and you budgeted for the last 5 years pa, right? So, with that information, it should be yearly, no? To be updated, no, in the current trends, no? To be updated in terms of our technology now. Yan. That's why it is a 12-month budget. Alright, 'di ba sa Congress ganun din, no? Kaya nga lagi nilang dinidebatehan 'yon, 'di ba? Yan. Alright. Also, again, you have also a continuous 12-month budget, no? That will results from dropping the month that's ended and adding the future month. Alright, again, ito yung sabi ko, 'di ba? Very important is to have a budget committee, no? Like in many companies now, the responsibility for coordinating the preparations of the budget is your budget committee. All right. So it is headed by the budget director. Usually the president yan, no? Presidente, the board of directors, the treasurer, the chief accountant, the controller, yan. All of these are part of the budget committee. All right. What is the problem or budgeting process? Again, yan. Saan ba nagsisimula ang budget? Ano bang binabudget mo una? Production budget? or gastos muna ang inyong binabudget or sales forecast? Tingin niya.
Is
Shannon.
it the sales budget, sir?
Alright. The answer here is sales budget. Ito na yung answer eh. Alright. Tama siya na. It should be sales forecast or sales budget. Why? Kasi if you forecast the sales first, no? Yan lang dapat. Let's say your sales forecast is 20 billion. Let's say 20 or 20 million na lang, 20 million, no? So meaning, your expense should be less than 20 million or mas lower pa dapat, no? Para you have more income. Alright, why? Kasi if you set the cost, so your cost is 20 million, tataas din yung forecast mo, di ba? Wow, 20 million is your forecast in cost. Wow, ba't ang laki? What you will do is to set a selling price which is higher than 20 million, which is impossible naman. Diba? Possible siya, pero mas okay if you will set first the sales forecast and your goal is to minimize your cost, right? To minimize your expenses. That's the ultimate goal in terms of financial management. Tama ba? To maximize the sales, to minimize the cost, and of course, to have a net income. Correct? You get the point ba, ni Risa? No?
Yes
ikaw
po,
ba,
sir.
'di ba? Ikaw ba nagbabudget ng gastos muna? 'Di ba hindi? 'Di ba? Sabi nga nila pag may pera ka daw, 'di ba? Una muna yung ano mo, ah, una muna dapat yung income mo or ang inflow, 'di ba? Minus savings na. Alright. Kung ano yung matira, yun yung gagastusin mo. 'Di ba? Ang nangyayari kasi sa atin mali, 'di ba? Income, 'di ba? Income minus your expenses. Yun na yung save ni Marian. No? Mali. No? Yun yung dapat. No? Also, in terms of budgeting, una dapat yung sales para ma-minimize mo yung cost. Right. So, what are the sales forecasting technique? No, you have general and economic conditions, industry trends, research analysis, no, anticipated advertising and promotion, previous market share, changes in the prices, ang dami, and also technological development. All right. What would be the budgeting and human behavior pattern? So again, budgeting is basically have a strong positive influence, no, or have significant effect, no, on the human behavior. Why? Because of budgeting, ang sabi, level of management is invited and encouraged to participate in developing the budget. So lahat dapat. Insan Miguel, lahat kami nagbabudget, no? Hindi pwedeng hindi ka mag-budget kasi required sa amin, no? Kasi gastos mo yan dapat ang iba-budget mo. Okay? Kasi hindi ko alam kung ano yung binabudget ko na sales, hindi ko alam kung ano yung sa marketing. Dapat sa accounting lang kami. Dapat marunong kami mag-budget. Alright. It support the management, important basis for, yes, you evaluate your performance. Di ba? Di ba, Pau, no? Let's say, you will give a bonus, pero unfavorable naman ang lahat ng gastos mo, meaning, you expense more, no? Yan. So, meaning, paano mo i-perform or i-evaluate yung performance, di ba? Number three, criticism, no, of management or manager's performance is tempered with the advice and assistance. And of course, top management is sensitive to the behavioral implications. So, ganun, no? Parang, hopefully, with this budgeting or budget is parang ano siya, parang motivation on your part, di ba? Alright. Alright. What do you mean of budgeting and long range plan? So makaiba yan ha. Budgeting is for a short term, long range planning or is more than a year, no? That's why long range planning. Meron ba kayong subject na financial management? Wala. Margaret.
Financial accounting only, sir.
Okay.
Or
Kasi
I'm not sure po, sir.
kasi
May
kung
finance po kami
mm,
next.
mm,
I
may
think
ano, subject?
finance class po, pero I'm not sure if it's the same po.
Ano accounting, sorry.
Oh, may financial accounting po kami before. Tapos may
Before.
finance subject po kami, pero I'm not
Finance.
sure
Hindi
if
siya
it's
ano. Kasi financial management is we will discuss there sana kung mayroon long range planning. Alright, ano yung long range planning? That's basically a capital budgeting. Alright. So, in this course, hindi kasama ang capital budgeting. Malamang nasa financial management yan. So, long range planning is basically a long term. Medyo mahirap siya because you will compute for the present value of annuity. Unstable ba ako sa internet? Hello? Hi? Hello?
Po,
Hello.
sir. Stable.
Unstable ba? Kasi may nag-warning. Okay na ba? Narisa? Hello?
Okay na po, sir.
Okay na po.
But
Again,
I can hear you po, sir.
yung kanina lang, no? Okay, kasi may nag-warning. Again, long range planning is for capital budgeting and capital budgeting, and it is for, or you will compute for present value. Ay, madali lang naman, pero yan nga. Identify the budgets that comprises the master budget. Again, master budget is basically interrelated budget, no, that constitutes the plan and action for a specified period of time. Ito yung sample niya, no? Yan. So, di ba sabi kanina ni Syra, very important is to begin with the sales budget. Yan. After sales budget, no, ito naman siya sabi niya, production budget, okay, which is direct materials, direct labor, and your manufacturing overhead. All right, then you have your selling and admin expense, you have your budgeting. So for the purpose of this class, we will focus lang more on the operation budget lang, master budget lang. Ito kasi ay more on sa financial management. For sure baka sa finance to, Margaret, no. All right. All right, there are two classes of, again, in our class now we will discuss more about operating budget, no. Financial budget is basically on your financial management and finance. All right. Again, first budget is to be prepared is the sales budget. Okay. It derived from the sales forecast. Sales budget are also known as sales forecast. No, it represents the management best estimate for the sales revenue for the period. Ito napakadali lang naman mag-compute. No, set mo lang kung magkano yung expected unit sales mo. Sabihin natin, sabi ni Nerissa, no? Magbebenta ako ng siomai, 3,000 pieces for the first quarter. Madami na yan, ha? Tama ba? Madami ba yan? Parang ko konti, no? Nerissa, no? 3,000 pieces of siomai for for the first quarter. Mali ito. Alright, sabihin mo, sige, I will estimate that additional 500 will be increased, no? On the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. Ganun lang, no? Set lang, no? So meaning from 3,000 on October quarter 1, so yung quarter 2 mo ay 3,500 because an additional 500. Then 3 naman, of course, 500 ulit, so you have 4,000 and 500 naman in quarter 4. Sir, saan galing 500? Depende yan sa problem, ha? Kung ang problem ang sabi 1,000 in every quarter, so you add 1,000 every quarter. And then you multiply it by the selling price. Yun na. That's your sales. Okay? Alright. By the way, so far, any question about this? Napakadali lang. Okay, may pattern, di ba? Di ba, Margaret? Alright. So, yung pattern mo of the expected sales, you multiply it by the selling price. Ganun lang kadali. Okay? Question so far? Marian, wala.
Not
Marisa, wala.
po.
Alright. Next naman is all about operating budget or operations budget. No, it shows. By the way, take note of this. Hindi pala. Ito. 3,000, 3,500. Kasi baka mamaya magamit natin. All right. What do you mean of production budget? No, it shows the units that must be produced to meet the anticipated sales. Now, the realistic estimate of this ending inventory is in scheduling in terms of production requirement. All right. What is the formula to compute for the production requirement? Di ba kanina we compute for this budget sales units. The units to it should be here, no? 3,000, 2,354. Yan. And after that, you add a desired ending finished goods. Sir, ba't mo i-add yung desired ending units? Kasi yan yung tinatawag na total goods available for sale. Diba? then you minus your finished goods beginning, yan yung required production mo. But mo sir, minaminus yung finished goods beginning kasi yan ay applicable for the previous month. No? What you are talking about here is the required production units now. Yan. Alright, para maintindihan, no? For example, Hayes believes that stable yung aking internet. Hello? 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 Unstable ba? You can hear me now?
Hear you, sir.
Alright, clear. Kasi may nagwa-warning sa akin
Yes.
lagi, ano?
Yes,
Alright,
po,
na
sir.
unstable. Alright, let's say, no, Hayes believes that it can meet the future sales requirement by maintaining an ending inventory equal to 20% of the next quarter. O kanina, ang ginawa na ni Lisa is to set every 500 sales. Ito naman, pag kinumpit niya yung production, sabi niya, I will maintain an ending inventory which is 20% of the next quarter. Yan. For example, ending inventory mo for the first quarter is 700 units. So meaning, you have 20% of the 35 units. Okay? Sir, sa board, sa ano ba? Sa exam? Sa quiz, sa exam nyo sa Saturday. Paano yan? Depende sa problem, ha? Yan. So, production budget is shown on, okay. For example, ito yan. Alright. Di ba ito yung kanina? Kinumpit ni Lisa. 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, 4,500. Ito yung expected sales in units. Tama ba, ni Lisa? Alright. So, ang sabi, your ending inventory of 700 is from the previous, from the next quarter. Alright, saan galing yung 700, sir? So, di ba, sabi, 20% of the next, ito yun, di ba? 20% of the next quarter sales. 20% of the next quarter sales. So, magkano yung sales mo for the second quarter? Di ba, 3,500? 3,500 times 20% is ilan yan? Complete nyo nga. Ilan? Hello? Please compute. Nerisa.
Sorry, sir,
Medyo
what was the
choppy po
question?
kanina, sir.
Ano yan? Choppy?
Medyo choppy po kanina,
Alright,
sir.
again? Again.
Kanina po.
Okay na ba ngayon? Alright. So you have, okay na?
Sir po,
Hello?
sir.
Alright, again?
Po.
Saan galing yung 700?
Yes
Ang
po, better
sabi,
po.
okay, the 700 daw is basically 20% from the next quarter sales. So meaning, saan galing yung 700? Meaning, 3,500. No? Sige nga, 3,500 times 20%. Ilan yan?
Mm,
3,500 times 20%. Sige nga.
Sir, is it from quarter two,
so,
3,000?
quarter
So,
po.
so again, ang sabi, the ending inventory should be 20% of the next quarter budgeted sales volume. How much would be your next quarter sales? Diba? 3,500? Alright,
Yes.
3,500. So, times 20%. Ilan
100
yan?
po, sir.
Ha? 3,500 times
700.
20%.
700.
700. Very good. So meaning, that's your ending inventory of 700. Why? Because this is, ang sabi, you will maintain an ending inventory which is 20% of the next quarter sales, which is 3,500 times 20%, you have 700. Saan galing yung 600? 3,000 times 20% is your 600. Paano sir? Bakit? 'Di ba? Yung ending mo dito will become beginning on the second quarter, correct? Tama ba?
Yes.
Yung ending mo
Yes.
ng first magiging
Yes.
beginning. That's why, for sure, yung 600 mo dito ay ending siya ng last quarter, which is 1998, no? That's why 3,000 times 20%, you have 600. Alright, next. Sa galing 800, 4,000 times 20%, you have 800. 800 will become your beginning na, next
Beginning.
quarter. Alright. Then 4,500 times 20%, you have 900. Then 900 will become part of the beginning finished
Mhm.
goods. Alright. Eh, di mo alam kung magkano yun. Alam kung 5,000 na to kasi 500 yung, ano, di ba? Yan. So 500 times 20%, the answer here is 1,000. Ganun kadali, ah. So, 3,000 plus 700 minus 600, you have 31 as the quarter 1 production units. Quarter 2, 36, quarter 3, 41, and quarter 4 is 4,600. So far, no question with this. Madali lang ba? Or
No
no?
questions, sir.
Alright, sige.
None so far, sir.
Alright. Ang technique dito in the exam is basically the the ano, parang what you call that, parang condition, no? Yan. So, be careful with this, ah. Yan. Yan. Alright, next quarter is all about, or next budget is all about direct materials budget. Alright, so direct materials budget is basically you will budget the quantity at the same time the cost. Now, it derived from the direct materials units. So, di ba kanina, what we compute is this, di ba? Di ba? Ito yan. Alright, kaya lang we will multiply it by the number of units of materials. Then you add, same as formula, plus ending minus beginning, and you have now your purchases. Alright, para maintindihan, ito yan, sabi niya, okay, you found out that the ending inventory should be 10% of the next quarter production. Yan. So, kanina is 20%, ito naman ay 10%. Ganun na lagi sa budgeting, no? Alright, what if, ang sabi, the manufacturer of kitchen mate now requires 2 pounds of raw materials and the cost is 4 pesos. Alright, sige nga. Sir, saan galing yung 3,1, 3,6, 4,1, 4,6? Diba ito yan? Diba? 3,1, 3,6, 4,1, 4,6. Yan din yan, ha? Kaya diba sabi ko, tuhog yan, no? Sales muna, then production. Alright. And after that, sabi, you should multiply it by 2. Why 2? Because sabi, you will require 2 pounds of materials. That's why you multiply it by 2. So meaning, direct materials unit is 6,2, 7,2, 8,2, and 9,2. Alright. Pounds per production. Ang sabi, 10% of the next quarter's sales. Meaning, 7,2 is your sales, right? Sorry, direct materials pa lang. 7,2 times 10%, you have 6,720. 8,2 times 10%, you have 820. 9,2 times 20%, 10%, you have 920. Yung ending mo dito maging beginning, tama? Ending maging beginning, ending maging beginning. Alright. Saan galing yung 620, sir? Of course, 6,2 times 10%, you have 620. Ganun lang. Okay? Ayan. Saan galing yung 1,020? Of course, malamang sunod mo dito ay 10,200. Nag-assume na, no? Alright. So, 10,2 times 10%, the answer here is 1,020. So far, clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Next is sa sa exam, pag direct labor, wag niyo nang pakawalan. Ito yung pinakamadali sa lahat, no? Direct labor contains quantities or hours and cost of direct labor to meet the production requirements. By the way, kilala niyo ba si Hindi siya pumapasok, Margaret.
Who, who po, sir?
Kilala niyo si lagi siya sa akin nagme-message, papasok siya. Uh, ano ba name nun? Naalala ko lang ngayon kasi baka makalimutan ko. Tapos yung exam niya, kalahati lang daw siya, hindi natapos. Daming dami niyang dami niyang rason, no? Tapos sabi ko, bet dapat pumasok ka na, ngayon wala pa din. Ay, baka nandito, no? Sorry. Nandito ba si sorry. Yung inad ko lang lahat nung rate lang, naalala mo yun, Margaret. I said with the S.
Oh, si Saskia po ba, sir?
Yun.
Oh,
Pero wala siya dito, no?
si Saskia po, medyo mahirap po talaga yung niya.
Ito. Saskia Olanosa.
Yes po, sir. Medyo hard po talaga siyang mag-attend ng class. Even us, hindi po
kahit,
namin siya contact masyado because of the area she lives in po.
saan siya nga? If you don't mind na, saan siya nga?
As for Rizal po ata, sir, pero I'm not sure where mismo. Pero kahit kami po, sir, parang we can't contact her as much din po, even when we
Oo.
need to record something po.
Oo nga, kasi medyo mahirap 'yan 'pag gano'n 'no? Kaya nga 'di
Yes
ba
po.
kaya 'di ba I said naman the recording, pero yung the mere fact na yung kahit nga ako lang sa akin hindi umattend sa akin kasi may recording naman tayo, eh. For me lang naman yung output lang yung requirements 'no, para hindi siya siya lang as in sa inyo 'no, siya lang yung hindi nagpapasa ng mga requirements, yun lang at least pakisabi na lang ano ha, naalala ko
Sige
lang.
sir, I'll try to help her
Oo,
with the
kahit yung exam
requirements.
niya ha, alam niyo ba yung exam niya? Kalagitnaan nag-message sa akin, sabi niya, "Sir, I don't think na hindi ako makaka-exam. I answered daw 10 questions." Sabi ko, "Bakit?" Eh, nag-answer siguro ang dami niyang reason 'no. Wala, anyway, yun lang. Yan, next. Next naman is all about 'no, manufacturing overhead. So in terms of the overhead, ito yung pinakamadali 'no, in terms of the overhead na budget. Yan. So why? Kasi dito, given na ang variable cost per unit 'no. Alam niyo dito Margaret, pinakamadali ditong, i-budget yung fixed cost 'no, kasi kung ano yung amount mo ng January, yun na rin yung amount mo hanggang December. Alright, kahit siguro variable cost din kasi given naman yung per rate 'no. What you will do is just multiply it by the direct labor, 'di ba? Ito lang 'yan, ha. So, saan na galing? Ano lang, ₱1 times direct labor hours. Magkano yung direct labor hours kanina? 'Di ba ito 'yan, direct labor hours is this 'no, 627292. 'Di ba? Try niyo nga, dapat yung direct materials tama, 'di ba? 627282 and 92. 1.40, 0.40, 0.20, you multiply it with this now, 62728292. Yan. Ito yan ha. Ito yan yun. Just multiply lang. Ganun lang. Napakadali. Kaya sana sa exam, magbigay lang ako ng variable lang and overhead. Tingnan mo yung fixed cost. 'Di ba? Sean, no? If you budget 20,000 in the first quarter, for sure, yan na yung budget mo for the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Why? Fixed costs will remain
That's
the same. Diba?
right.
Regardless of the changes in your activity. Naalala ko dati, no? Nung ako ay nasa San Miguel pa, paunahan kami mag-budget ng fixed cost. Totoo to, ha? Kaya lang yung boss namin, "Hindi, bunutan tayo, bunutan." Nagkataon ako yung una. Wow, napakasarap ng feeling. Kasi required kami mag-budget, 'di ba? Nabunot ko fixed cost, 'no? Ang tinrabaho ko lang ay January lang. Of course, kailangan ko din trabahuhin until December. Kaya lang, kailangan kong i-assess din, kailangan ko din i-research kung ano pa yung mga gagastusin na in fixed cost, kailangan bilhin ng project. Pero napakadali lang. No? Unlike pag nabunot mo ay production budget kasama yung direct materials, direct labor, wow, napakahirap. Ganun kadali ang budgeting for the overhead. Alright. So after that, you add the manufacturing overhead and then you divide it by the direct labor hours. Yan. So 57.1, 61, 63.1. Yan. Sorry. You divide it by the direct labor hours. So far, any question with this?
None,
Sir, is
sir.
it okay if we go back to
Sure.
direct labor? Because I think we
Yes.
skipped through it po.
To? Hindi pa tayo nag-ano dito? Ako nga pala, sorry. Because of Ononosa. Again, direct labor budget. Thank you, Sarah. All right, direct labor budget. Now it contains the quantities hours and then direct labor. So what we gonna do here is basically again from the production budget, correct? So we go to the production budget. Okay, sa to galing. Yung kanina, no? Go back to our production budget. Di ba ito yan? Ito yan, no? 3.1, 3.6, 4.1, and 4.6. So meaning, it is parang interrelated siya, no? In terms of direct materials, direct labor, and overhead. Alright. Ang sabi, it requires daw 2 pesos, no? Of direct labor hours, no? 2 hours of direct labor hours are required for each unit of the finished product. So meaning just multiply it by 2. Okay? And wala lang. Then you multiply it by the cost. That's it. That's your total direct labor. It's napakadali. Ano yung pinakamadali ng i-budget? Direct labor and factory overhead. Mahirap i-budget ang direct materials kasi medyo mabusisi siya, especially if you have more materials. Okay? Thank you, Shaira. No? Okay na ba sa direct labor? Any question about direct labor?
None po, sir.
None.
Thank you.
Alright, sige. Alright, next is all about now preparing naman the operating budget. No? Same as the fixed and the variable overhead. Alright, ito naman ay may cost per unit din. Alright, selling and admin expense budgeted is basically an anticipated operating expenses now. This budget distinguishes it from or between fixed and variable. Again, same. Kanina, fixed costs will remain the same while variable costs per unit will be the same, but the variable costs now vary now inversely with the changes in your activity. So you have 3 and 1. All right, from the sales budget, so meaning sales budget mo is to be multiplied by that, no? Die by 3 and 1. All right, so you have sales commission of 9, 10, 5, 12, and 13. You have a freight out of 3. Again, saan galing yung ito? 3 times 1 per unit from the sales budget. Magkano yung sales budget mo? Sales budget, sorry. Magkano nga yan? We go back to the first para at least makita nyo. Di ba ito yan? Yan, 3, 1, 3, 6, and 4, 6. So 3, 1, 3, 6, 4, 1, 3, 6. You multiply it by 3 pesos. Sige nga, try natin kung tama. Baka mali ako. 3, 6 times 3. Alright, tama ba? Parang may mali. Sales commission. Wait lang ha. 3 pesos, 9,000 divided by 3. Alright, 3. Ba't ganun? Ba't 3,000? Sorry ha. Medyo may mali sa computation ko. Kasi nakalagay, kasi is 3, 1. Ito. The expected sales budget. That the production ha. Tama. Kasi dito pala, 3,000, 3, 5, and 4. Diba ito yun? Sorry, mali ako. Ito yun, diba? 3,000, 3, 5, 4,000, and 4, 5. From the sales budget ha. From the sales budget. Yan. So, 3,000 times 9. Yan. Alright, wait lang. Wait lang. Alright. So, yun na. So, meaning, 3,000 times 3, yan yun, 9,000. No? Then, then 3,5 times 3, you have 10,5. Then, 4,000 times 3, you have 12. Then, 4,5 times 3, you have 13,5. Then, that also 1 times 3,000, 1 times 3,5, 1 times 4,000, 1 times 4. Ano lang, no? Again, in terms of the fixed cost, diba? Siya notice, Syra, no? 'Di ba? Kung ano yung budget mo sa first quarter, first or second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter is the same. You have the same fixed costs. All right. So after that, no. By the way, do you have question about this selling and admin expense budget?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Sure.
For the freight out, sir, does it observe the same increments as the production budget? Yung
Freight out,
500 peso.
freight out is basically an expense, no? Freight in is basically an addition, no? To the production, no? Magkaiba, no? Magkaiba yung freight out and freight in, no? Very good for observation, no? Freight in, yes, it is part of the 500, meaning it is part of parang an inventory, 'di ba, Saira? Why? Kasi freight in is basically ang nagbayad ng transportation is the buyer. Ikaw mismo nagbayad. That's why it is freight in. If it is freight in, it will be added to your inventory. But if it is a freight out, no, the seller pays for your transportation. So on your part, since binayaran mo yan, minsan binayaran mo yan, it will become part of the freight out. Get the point ba, Sarah?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alright, thank you. Okay. Kasi usually, 'di ba, sa financial accounting 'to na naalala mo ba, Sarah? 'Di ba, in financial accounting, no, you discuss about freight in and freight out. 'Di ba? Naalala ko 'to, no? Alright. Alright, sige. Next is all about, no, don't worry, we will not discuss na lang until income statement, no. We will not discuss about balance sheet kasi it is part of the finances or sorry, finance management or financial management. Alright, how do we budget naman income statement, no? Is the most important end product in preparing your operating budget, no? This budget indicates the expected profitability of operations and provides a basis for evaluating the company's performance. All right. His budgeted income statement, no, is prepared with data from all the detailed operating budgets, no, and following the information. So, meaning you have interest expense of 100, income tax expense of 12,000. That's basically your income statement. Right. Yeah. So, meaning you add lang 100. So, kanina, no, if you go back to our budget, compute for the total, no, 900. Makikita mo yung sa pinakadulo. Okay? Cost of goods sold, ganun din. Selling and admin, you add 100 and you add 12,000. Go back na lang sa ano, ha, mga next, last slides natin. So meaning, with this budgeted income statement, our budget income statement should be $47,900. Pag tayo nag-excess, ano dyan, naglumagpas, okay lang. Ha? Meaning, okay yung ating net income. Pero pag mababa dyan ang net income natin, in actual, yan, parang, ano yan, red alert. Bakit ganun? Bakit ito yung forecast mo na net income of 47,900? How come that your net income is only 5,000? Yan. So, ba't ka pa nag-budget, no? If hindi mo pala kaya yung 47,900. Alright, I think we are done. No? So far, any question? Don't worry, ano lang tayo? 1 hour lang. 1 hour lang tayo. Sige. So far, any question? Use this time pala, no? We have pa ano? We have 8 to 11 tayo, di ba? So we have 2 hours pa to use this time to talk to your group mates, no? Or group mate, especially in terms of your paper to be submitted on uh April 9. Sige, I will check na email now na. Sino ba yung nag-message sa akin?
Sir, will we be having
Question.
a final exam pa po?
Oh, yes, we will be having a final exam on April 10. Okay? Multiple choice lang. Okay? Wait lang. Final paper na pala yun, no? Sige, focus, wala na pala. Focus on the final paper. Tama ba, no? Sorry. Go back to our... Alright. I believe na your paper na pala is your final exam. Alright. Yes, meron pa. Alright, yes, meron pa tayong final exam na. Alright, don't worry, ano lang, madali lang naman na. Alright, so, and then, please submit na lang yung final pay, ano. Coverage lang siguro is the budgeting, okay? Budgeting and some sort of our previous discussion. Okay lang ba?
Noted, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
No. Alright, so far, any question?
Sir, I have a question, but it's
Sure,
about the previous lesson covered
sure,
in the midterm
sure,
exam.
sure.
Wait, well, I'll
Mm-mm,
check my question again.
mm-mm.
Oh yeah, sir, for businesses that
Mm-mm,
uses the activity-based
mm-mm,
method in applying overhead,
mm-mm,
does that constitute the expense accounts? Like for example, overhead costs on
mm-mm,
factory rent, depreciation.
mm-mm. They are not part of the expense. They are automatically charged to factory overhead, and it is inventoriable.
Okay, sir. So
Mm-mm.
if ever kahit machine hours yung ginamit for
Yes,
for the activity,
yes.
we will assume that that account already
Mm-mm.
consists of the factory depreciation
Yes, correct.
as
Mm-mm.
okay,
Correct.
sir.
Nice
So
question. No? Mm-mm.
so for the income statement, sir,
Mm-mm.
we don't have to subtract those expense accounts from the gross profit anymore.
The, for the meantime, ano siya muna, part muna siya ng inventoriable cost, no? Sorry, hindi siya part ng merchandising, no, as a gross profit. So, meaning, yes, tama din. What I mean, it is part of the materials, labor, and overhead, and
Mm.
eventually will become part of the work in process and part of the finished goods, and will become part of the cost of goods sold. So, meaning, for the meantime, it is an inventoriable muna hanggang maibenta yung product. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Very good question. No?
So to clarify, sir, the applied factory overhead shouldn't be separated with the other expense accounts.
The applied overhead is basically part of the manufacturing cost for the meantime,
Okay.
because yun nga, hindi mo pa makikita, hindi mo pa makukuha yung information mo of the overhead. Uh, Kaya lang, of course, di ba, we have an over and under applied overhead. So, at the end of the day, now, we will compute for the actual na para makompute natin yung actual overhead.
Okay, sir.
Pero for the
Is it
meantime, applied overhead muna. Pero
okay?
dapat we compute for the actual overhead para we also what you call that, we also adjust, no, for the overhead actual, or the cost of goods sold actual.
Okay, sir. And so yung sa midterm exam na question, sir, yung the problem stated na the business operates on the activity based for
Mm,
applied factory overhead, and
mm,
the problem also stated the costs for rent, depreciation, and other overhead costs.
mm.
So we all we had to do was disregard those expense accounts and assume that it's already in the
Yes, correct. Part of the
activity.
applied. Very good.
Okay, sir.
Mm.
Sir, is it possible if we get the solutions from
Sige,
the
sige, sige. Sure,
problems?
sure. I will send the solution para at least for the future reference na. Yes, yes, I
Okay.
will send it. Remind mo kung magalit, ah. So baka kahit
Noted,
mo,
sir.
para later din wala naman akong ano. Kasi sorry, kasi I have four schools, no.
Okay, sir.
Ateneo, LaSalle, San Beda, and Perpetual, and then the same subject, as in same subject, managerial accounting, cost accounting. And then yun, akala ko na send ko na, yun pala hindi pa. Pero
Sir,
sa lahat ng schools yun, Ateneo pa din. Alright, yes.
if it's okay, sir, I have another question.
Sure, sure.
For the statement of financial position, sir, in
Mm-mm.
manufacturing,
Mm-mm.
the budget includes the inventory accounts.
Mm.
So for the inventory accounts, is it the sum of all ending inventory accounts, yung mga work in process,
Mm-mm.
yung
In,
three accounts, sir? Is it the sum of all that?
no, less. Should be less, no? Uh,
Mm-mm.
you compute for what? Sorry.
For the inventory account to be reflected in the statement of
Alright. Yes,
financial
yes.
position.
All the ending, no, is part, raw materials ending, the
Mm-mm.
work in process ending, and the finished goods ending. This basically will be reflected in the statement of financial position.
Okay, sir.
Mm.
Thank you.
False ka ba doon?
Sir, I had a hard time in the midterm because
Uh-uh.
I answered the
Mm.
yung computing for operating income. I actually did the first
Alright.
one. Yung I didn't include the rent expense. I didn't subtract that in the
Mm.
gross profit because I assumed na
Mm.
kasali na siya sa applied factory overhead. So I was wondering like why I got it wrong there. And also for the ending inventory accounts, because I also added all the three ending inventories. So I just wanted to see like how to properly solve it. Maybe my approach was wrong.
Don't worry. At least nakita. Mama, I will send it the solution naman.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Alright. By the way, no, can we have before the start of your exam, no? Can we have a group picture, no, on April 10, 'di ba? Kasi our last day, 'di ba?
Yes, sir.
Ako lang ba?
Sir, on April 10 po, will it be sync exam na po
And
or will it still be
hindi,
synchronous?
hindi, async na async. So, just take your time to answer. We will not
Okay,
meet naman.
sir.
Sir, what's the passing score for the midterms?
70 items, the passing score is of 75. Unfortunately, 52 or 53. Malaya ba naka 53? Sige, don't worry, I will ano naman. Medyo ano kasi, sa inyo kasi medyo sobrang taas, sobrang mababa. Kung
Yes, sir.
52,
Sobrang baba.
kung 53, ang papasa ay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pass, no? 7 failed, no? 52. Tira natin. Yan ako na lang. Okay.
Sir,
Yes,
um,
sure.
just wanted to ask for if you could like send some practice problems or where we can find
Practice problem. Sige, sige. Go. Para,
Yes,
para
sir.
sa,
So, na
sa
para po,
budgeting.
like, somewhat similar po sila
Okay,
na
sure. Sige, sige.
exam.
Especially in terms of the budgeting na. Okay, sige.
Yes, sir. Kasi in
Para,
the midterm, sir, parang, medyo nagulat. Ang
nahirapan ba kayo?
Yes,
ina-expect,
sir.
hindi naman po sa, like, super, pero it wasn't
Yung
something that I
iba.
was expecting po.
I agree, sir. My
Oo.
my FinAc involved. Sabi ko po wala.
Okay lang. Okay lang. Pero ang galing mo siya niyan, no? Unexpected, pero 4 mistakes ka lang. Wow. So, dapat pala perfect ka siya niyan, no? Tama ba? Hello? No comment?
Thank you, sir.
Okay lang. Sige, sige. I will give you example, no? Para at least in your exam, especially in terms of the budgeting. Don't worry. I will help you on that. Para makabawi kayo.
Thank you,
Makabawi
sir.
kayo sa finals din.
Sir, for those who failed, including me po, are there any supplementary activities that we can do to help bring up our grades?
Ano na lang, I will through a sync na lang, no. I will upload videos, and then also parang ano kayo to discuss it, no, and then submit or more on discussion siguro. Yun lang, gagawin ko na lang. Para at least during the Holy Week, 'di ba? I will work on it this weekend para at least you have 2 weeks. Okay lang ba 'yan? Basta more sheet work, okay lang.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Mm. No worry.
Sir, another question po.
Yes.
The release of grades of like previous homework, like the discussion
Mm.
board po.
Mm. Yes,
When
yes. This ano din, before this Holy Week ang plano ko eh. Para at least makita nyo rin yung ano nyo, yung grades nyo, no?
standing
Before,
po
yeah,
ako.
standing nyo. Before, kasi ang submission kasi 1 week after. Don't worry, I will give you naman your grades, no? Before I will upload it to the ICs, no?
Thank you, sir.
Expect this na weekend, this week, no? Kasi medyo busy schedule kasi no, for the coming days. Pero ngayon, medyo pag Holy Weekend, tapos malalaman niya na yung grades niya. The standing.
Pero yung sa ano po pala, kasi I checked the syllabus po, merong pass 1 and pass 2. Yung ipapasa po namin sa April 9,
Yun lang yan.
that's
Yes,
both
na
na
complete
po.
na.
Okay. Okay po.
Ginawa ko isa na lang. Although
Okay.
dalawa yun, di ba?
Apo, dalawang parang piece.
Para hindi kayo mahirapan.
Yes, sir.
What else? So yun, pag wala na, enjoy na lang, hindi enjoy pray and reflect this Holy Week, no? Hopefully this pandemic will end na, no? Kasi grabe, no? Almost 2 years na. Almost a year na, 'di ba? Yan. Hopefully, yan, we pray and reflect this coming Holy Week, no? Huwag mo na lalabas kasi mahirap maglabas ngayon. Tumataas yung cases, 'di ba, sa NCR. Alright, so if none, thank you very much and hope to see you on. Okay lang ba sa ano? We can still meet pa on April 10. Ano lang, we can have a group picture.
Sir, ano po yun?
Yes, sir.
Magme-meet na lang po tayo
Wala lang, meet lang.
anytime
Oh,
after
anytime. Oo.
okay. Okay
Ano
po.
lang, wala lang, picture lang.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Alright, sige.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Yeah,
Thank
okay,
you.
bye-bye.
Thank you, sir,
Sige.
so much.
Okay,
Thank you,
okay,
sir.
bye-bye.
Sir.
Bye-bye.